Alright, here we go. It's going to be some more Aerowalk action. David v. IsBjorn. And once again, thank you everybody for being here to share this special moment. But we got IsBjorn with this special spawn, not my favorite, but he's just going to like casually walk over to the railgun. He has to take like no damage here to make this red armor even like worthy or workable. And he's just more than happy to sit here going, I got a little bit of armor, I got a little bit of railgun, and I can back up. And he just backs up just enough to see if David commits to the red. And there's the commitment. He's looking for the denial here, and that one rail saved him that one. Like, it wasn't so much about the fight, it was about the item pickup. But it kept David off his face, at least. But David's moving in through the teleporter with rockets in hand. And was he able to get that grab? I'm not sure if he was. He's still waiting for it. How did it not get picked up? Okay, I guess Bjorn did indeed get it, but he gets caught on the staircase, dropping his railgun, so all that work was for nothing. Absolutely nothing. Alright, so David here, back up top. A little bit of chain gun bullets, but a little bit of red armor goes a long way as well, with mega health to boot. So Bjorn going, alright, at least I've gotten a rail. I mean, being able to take away a rail when you're the down player is not easy. So just being able to get some hits in, really nice rail angle there. And now David's realizing what kind of game is being played here. It's like, does David want to play the rail v rail? Or does he want to take the fact that Bjorn doesn't really have much else? So you can just go +4 with chain and rockets, which is like, for both of these guys, like the opposite of what they want. Bjorn wants to be able to go full forward with the chain, and David wants to go full forward with the rail. But I think Bjorn is a little bit more scared of the rail there, especially with the potential for the spawn frags. And that's exactly what David is going to start pulling together here, as he's just taking a couple nasty fights against Bjorn, taking control of red, and coming back into mid. So Bjorn with rockets and chain. Not a lot of chain, though. Oh, really good initial rockets there. Really good spam. It's going to take off a lot of that red armor. Bjorn's looking for that red to spawn back up, but of course David's going to have the timing, going to make it really dangerous for him to be here. So diving down the stairs, was that meant to be a jump or what? I'm not sure, but there was a frag off the spawn as well. Oh, David not quite making the jump either. Come on, guys, you're both at 20 ping. You got no excuse. Nice. David making the rail in, but having to really extend for it here. Bjorn doesn't really have a weapon on the spawn to respond to that too, however. Yep, just denying the mega. Alright, so we got grenade launcher coming out of IsBjorn. David making a really nice, really slick jump and just going in for the kill with rockets. There it is, 9-on-0 now. Setting a really early tone here, only 3 minutes into the map. So Bjorn getting a grab of chain. This should be a lot of good damage. I mean, again, Bjorn's chain gun is just completely nuts. Messes the jump, though. Can't be doing that. He needs this red armor. And he knows that David's going to be all over this rail here pretty soon. There he is. He's got the pickup. David might take that back and get the red himself. No, he's going to give it up. He's thinking that Bjorn might have actually already gotten it, so it's going to be more of a play here over the mega. Mega's taken by David. Bjorn really had a tough decision to make there by going for rail instead of red, but now he's finally gotten the red, and he can start to breathe a little bit easier here. However, he is down by 8 frags here. Oh, and David gets completely behind him with the SSG. There's the damage to finish him off, but there's no spawn frag. There it is. Okay, nice. So Bjorn took a lot of damage in that fight. He's going to be recovering on the red. Can take away the 20 health. But it's going to be about the next mega pickup here. David's going to be playing the teleporter a little bit, making it a little bit more dangerous for Bjorn to be there. But Bjorn, he's fully stacked up now, and he's got chain gun as well. Willing to enter these fights with railgun, but he's got to be really careful about his distancing. The rockets coming out of David are on point. Bjorn down to 97 HP. It's going to be bolstering up his red armor just a little bit. If you take away a green when you got a red, it only actually gives you like 8 points of armor. I'm sorry, 9. So Bjorn left pretty weak here. Even after taking control and these couple of frags, he hasn't really been able to turn it into something else. And that was a really weird movement out of him. He like moves out towards Mega, switching over to rail. Like, if anything, you would expect the opposite. Like, if he was at rail, he would switch to rocket before moving up, but maybe chain? I don't know. That was a really weird little play there. But it means that Bjorn has lost a lot of his momentum. He's able to get a rail again. So he's got to make these hits. There's his chain. I'm sorry, his green armor. David over the top. Coming in for the kill now. And through the teleporter, there's the telefrag. Beautiful timing. We'll go ahead and call that one intentional, but of course it leads to a bevy of spawn frags. Just the last thing that Bjorn wants right now, especially as time is starting to tick out against him. Whoa, jeez. Alright, so David controlling rail. Just has Bjorn up top on towards red. It's like he wants that chain, and he's actually got the chain. But what he wants more is a close range fight. But look at this. How many times now has David actually gotten behind his Bjorn? Well, 3. But it means so much each time you can turn 1 frag into like 2 or 3. Alright, so Bjorn having to play across mid with no armor here. He's going to have to be kind of careful about his bullet usage as well. But there's close range play with the chain gun. Not exactly the damage that he wanted out of it. David's almost out of armor, but he's got plenty of that mega left. And he's going to have to play plus back here. He's not going to be able to surprise him with any of these grenades here pretty soon. Oh, and there's the surprise from him around the corner with the rail. Make that 2. 16 on 3. So when you're out of position on this map and all you can get is a grenade launcher. It's really weird hearing like Quake 2 players complain about other Quake 2 players only being good with the railgun. Okay, so make that 4 times that Bjorn has completely been blindsided by David. And say what you will about the railgun aim, like the fact that David is able to get around Bjorn and surprise him consistently is really the bigger problem for Bjorn here on his own map pick. I'm sorry, not his map pick, this was David's. But yeah, rails in Quake 2 are strong. This is how they are. That's how God intended them. Nice rockets. And this is really a map that like favors rail usage a hell of a lot. Like compare that to DM1 where the rail is like really out of the way. Compare that to like Cool Duel 1 where the rail angles you get are really not all that great and you can close the distance with chain and rockets much faster. But the rail is like such a different thing when you're playing in control versus when you're playing out of control. Like what we're seeing from David is that, yeah, he's just allowing IsBjorn to like come into his sights. Now spawns really are like the bigger thing, and this really does apply to like both Quake 2 and Quake World, especially a map like Blood Run. Jeez. I'm starting to actually like feel like the spawns in Blood Run in Quake World are like just awful. Like it's so hard. Like, there's so many spawn frags you can get, and really what you're looking for is that opportunity to get a red armor spawn, to get a railgun of your own, and start to turn it back around. And in Airwalk, that's always been hard. So actually, like, the most balanced Airwalk is Quake Live. And in general, like, Quake Live Duel is not my favorite, but if anything, it's more balanced there than anywhere else. Oof. And here, actually, you don't even have a yellow armor besides the red. You just have, like, a couple greens. But really, like, you know, either way, it's going to take 2 rails to take you down. So it doesn't make that much of a difference there. But it also means that the guy with red is not going to be able to, like, get up to 200 very quickly. You can't, like, take a red and then 2 yellows. Nice. But yeah, we'll be changing the map pool a little bit for next week. Oh man, David around the corner with like 8 HP, even against IsBjorn's chain is like no problem whipping around the corner with that rail. Nice. Oh, got around him. That's like the one time IsBjorn actually got around David, but David was like, he's not there, so he must be there. Nice blaster frag. Oh, and IsBjorn's able to pick one up off of the spawn as well, but it came a little bit too late. So all of us Quake players, we hate randomness, and I mean, either way you cut it, no matter what spawn system you're using, it is still a bit of a random thing, and it's something where you don't really have a lot of control off the spawn. And usually, or at least historically, that's been like mitigated by just the length of time that duels take. Like, we're not playing 15 minutes here, we're only playing 10. But that can really have a huge impact on just mitigating how random those spawns feel. There are other games that are out right now where it's the same spawn system, but it doesn't feel like you have quite as much room to recover. Anyway, 26-on-5, as IsBjorn is now kind of on his last legs here. It's going to be DM1, and he has to win this one in order to move forward in the bracket. Well, not the bracket, but, you know, in the final. Yeah, you get me. All right. But this is a fantastic map for IsBjorn. He plays it super intelligently. You're going to have to see how things go for him here. Good luck. Have fun to both of these guys. David is on match point. David's going to be spawning up towards Hyperblaster, taking up a rocket, and coming right back into Mega Room. Just going for the Mega Steal. And usually that's all you really get out of that. Like, it's a pretty standard play there. But it's actually turned into a grab of Chain Gun for him as well. Like, Bjorn didn't get Chain out of that. He didn't get... did he get armor? Yeah, he got armor out of it. He got both armors, actually. Yeah, ZTN2 DM3 is super balanced, actually. But David is actually having a good time here. I mean, Bjorn took most of the armor. And here comes a bit of chain gun from David. But man, the Hyperblaster from Bjorn is actually doing some pretty decent damage. I think David actually wanted to be able to go get a rail, but the fact that he's got to camp the rail a little bit, I'm sorry, not the rail, the chain, is making things a little bit more difficult for him. The fact that he's keeping that chain off of IsBjorn means that he can stand up here and be like, okay, cool, I see you. It's all neat. He's only got 28 bullets and 3 rockets to make that damage happen. But maybe he could just scare IsBjorn off a little bit. But he didn't go in for the grab, so Bjorn can actually now go for this. Really good damage with the Hyperblaster. Is it enough to keep David off his back? David knows that he really can't afford to let Bjorn take that chain gun away from him. Alright, so Bjorn's going to be diving back out. David's going to be taking top of the lift. Oh, he's going actually up a rocket instead. So Bjorn can take the very top of the lift here. Oh no, okay. Bjorn's actually going for more Hyperblaster ammo as well as up a rocket launcher. Being super conservative here. And yeah, Hyperblaster spam on the Mega can be incredibly effective. In fact, that did quite a bit of damage there. Oh, Dave was able to recover on the armor though, so he's still pretty well stacked up here. IsBjorn trying to steal some chain, but nope, he's going to have to be here in the central atrium as David goes in for a rail. It was a really good time for David to go for the rail as well. It's when Bjorn was going to be furthest away from the chain gun. And just now, Bjorn is getting up there and in a position to throw down some defensive rockets. But he needs to make a frag. You can't really, like, drop from here and just go get the chain. It means you're stuck in that little cubby, and you're pretty much screwed. Oh. Nice! Nice! Nothing really came of it, but it worked. Bjorn was able to drop Hyperblaster and make it sound like he did drop for the chain gun. And then he was able to actually drop down for the chain gun. So he ended up still taking a rail for his trouble, but he's back in it and he's got a chain now. These rails from David, though, like, he only needs the one more, and he switched back over to chain himself. Like, 2 bullets would do it. And Bjorn is using all of his ammo just in case David is waiting for him there. And there's David taking away Mega. But not all is lost. Bjorn didn't die there. Yellow armor's going to be back up. David's going to be coming back into it, but he ends up eating a grenade. All right, so all that Mega's going to be gone. Here comes a little bit of spam to scare David back out into Central Atrium. Bjorn taking more of that ammo. That's like everything he's been wanting here. And grenade spam off on the door a little bit. Doing a little bit of damage even. Okay, cool. He's 80 and 80. Bjorn 60 and 60. Make that 30 and 20 with that rocket. Really beautiful spam. Whipping that one around the corner. It's going to be chain on chain, but Bjorn really cannot afford to be here. Even with his godlike chain gun accuracy, you just cannot hold on to that kind of stack. So David taking the first frag, taking Mega, and diving right back in for another rail. Actually, Bjorn's already down there with the rail, taking some damage from that hand grenade. And yeah, this chain could finish him off. Like, toss it, toss it. Oh, no. So David's going to have rail here. And this is where things get kind of tough for Bjorn. David can afford to be a little bit more defensive here. Bjorn still wants that chain. Both of them was kind of screwing up their prediction of, of those rockets there, but Bjorn's going to get railed on down by David. So that was like half of the map before we really saw a frag, and really 1 turned into 4 very quickly. Well, I guess that last fight, like, Bjorn didn't really need to be there, but David's still able to take another one off of the spawn. So David 100 now. Well, 98, now 100, and that's actually worse for Bjorn. That means no yellow armor for him whatsoever. He's able to get this chain, but without the stack, he can't really afford to be there. I mean, David's chain is solid enough that, yeah, he won't be able to overcome, like, Mega Health and 2 YAs. Ugh. Still, he was able to get the fake weapon pickup sounds out and get that first chain gun, so clever, clever. You saw David actually throw the rocket up against the wall instead of up towards Bjorn. But it didn't really turn into a frag for him or control. And every time he comes around a corner, he's going to be eating these rails. Nice. Alright, so David has IsBjorn up against the ropes. He's down to 5 HP. 5 frags, 5 minutes. Doable, and Bjorn has consistently been able to get the chain gun here at the very least. And he's done the damage, but the crate's going to be absorbing most of it, making it very difficult for Bjorn to get out of this. Oh, and he's baited out the damage there, both super low. David heading back over to the 225s by SSG. Bjorn's going to be looking for, well, the Mega for the health at least. Alright, so Bjorn staying inside. It's not going to give him a whole lot to recover on very quickly. But he knows he just needs to make one solid thing happen for him. I mean, David's only been able to take away some smaller health packs. Not a Mega. There's 20 up here as well. And he hasn't been able to take away any yellow armor either. So if Bjorn is able... Alright, so there's the other 2 25s there. So yeah, David's back up on health, not quite so much armor. But that means that if Bjorn can take away this next Mega and the next yellow, then he'll be set. Now he just needs to go on the hunt. But so far, like, the fact that David was able to get around Bjorn on Arrow Walk, on a map where you should never really be losing track of your opponent at all, it's kind of amazing. Here on DM1, it could be even more difficult for Bjorn to lay a trap for David, especially since David can, like, chill. They're going to meet here on the platform, but it's going to be chain v chain. David's going to be getting the hell out of there as Bjorn goes back up to the top of the lift and almost catches David there, actually, but David backs off at just the right moment. He's going to be coming back up the lift. He's looking for Bjorn there. Bjorn is, like, just not even paying attention to that. He's just looking for David to come into Mega. And David really doesn't have much incentive to do that at all. He's got chain already. So yeah, David's going to take a little bit of damage there. He's got rail out, looking for the play around the corner. And Bjorn almost takes it there. But that means that David can drop down. He's going to be denying the lift. But he just doesn't have enough ammo here to chase. It's going to be Rockets v Chain around the corner here. Looking for him over the crates. He's going to have to aim up onto the yellow armor platform. It's going to be Chain on the chain, but he's going to be wrapped around again. Like, even in, like, the smaller fights, Bjorn is losing track of David a hell of a lot. So yeah, like, David's general patterning for control is really good. But even in the smaller fights, David's movement is fantastic. All right, so final 2 minutes, and that will be the game, I believe. And that'll be the title for David. Did he... Well, he lost one map in the upper bracket final against IsBjorn, but in general, I think that was, like, the only map that he lost today. Let me, like, confirm that. Make sure I'm not talking out of my ass here. Yeah. That's the only map that he lost today was the upper bracket final. Which I believe was here on DM1. A really good comeback from IsBjorn, but here, this time, not so much. I agree with some of the comments in chat here that the rockets from Bjorn weren't quite where they needed to be. I.e., hitting David. Jump. David playing us the song of his people. Nice. Alright, so really good games there, and IsBjorn is like, yeah, I'm just going to follow the sounds and try to catch you jumping dirty with the chain gun. It's not going to happen here, though. Yeah. So really well played out. David's going to be caught down in mid. This could be a frag for Bjorn. There we go. There's the one. A nice door prize. But the main prize, the 75 smackaroons, I'm sorry, the 50 smackaroons, is going to be going to David. It's 75 next week. But really fantastic series. And David, again, he came into this swing and, like, he woke up, he signed up, he started playing, and just didn't lose. So it sets a bit of a precedent. It sets a bit of a bar here for anybody who wants to challenge David in the next 2 weeks. But, of course, lurking out there in the shadows, we've got players like Demaya. We've got players like Puri. But we saw some fantastic games today. A lot of good overtimes, too. But that'll be it. GG's called out there. And David will be the winner of our first European Quake 2 Summer Cup. And, of course, I realize the irony of it being summer here and maybe not so summer over in Poland. September. Lol. But hey, we took some really awesome photos back in June, so we're going to use them, damn it. So guys, holy shit, what a weekend. I think I'm going to go, like, cleanse my eyes of all this orange, but then start playing some games myself. It should be a lot of good stuff. We're going to be getting some money sent over to David. And if anybody wants to donate more prize money for the next 2 weeks, feel free to hit us up. We can make that happen. We'll be happy to have that happen. But in general, I think what's going to happen with Tasty Spleen is that we want to run more tournaments with more, like, donation-driven prize pools for, like, Quake 2, for Quake World, especially for Quake Champions as it's getting, like, better. And actually, I really do enjoy, like, Duel, especially with, like, the announcement of CTF coming to Quake Champions. Makes everything awkward for Sacrifice teams right now, but I think the future there is definitely bright. But here, of course, on Tasty Spleen, we want to make sure that every Quake is getting the attention that it deserves, because it's been such a legacy, so much user content, so many competitions, so many rivalries over the years, and we definitely want to stoke those flames. And fortunately for us, anytime we, like, give what looks like a dormant community, like, a little bit of a poke, like, it just fucking explodes. And that's exactly what we saw here this weekend, and I'm expecting more of it next weekend and the weekend after that. Actually, I might have to take that back, because next weekend is the Quake Champions qualifiers for DreamHack Denver, and so we might not want to, like, split attention too much there. But either way, we're going to be having 3 of these Quake 2 Cups. Guys, really fantastic games. GG's for sure. And I will be seeing you guys on Wednesday for Quake Champions King of the Hill. So, oops, that's the wrong button. That's the right button. I got too many buttons now. But it's going to be Quake Champions King of the Hill, and if you don't know what that is, well, just show up, because it means you'll be dueling with other people who also don't know what they're doing. So